Running side by side with death. Today is March 18, 2016. It's Friday, 9 a.m. I arrived home some minutes ago after running for a while in a parking lot close to where I live. I started this Monday running a little bit each morning, around 5-7 minutes in this parking lot close to where I live. It's an oval parking lot. It seems like a horse racing track. And only today I realized something very important. I am running, and we are all running side by side with death. And how did I got this insight? You see that the parking lot, as I told you, it's oval, and as I'm running this way, on my right side, on my right hand side, I have a cemetery. And as I go along, make the turn, then on my right, there's a beautiful ground, beautiful place. In Portuguese, called a quinta. It's a country house with a very nice land and pine trees and lots of trees, olive trees, etc. And as I was running, I really got this insight that today, this morning, I was running side by side with death and also side by side with life. So I had death on my right side and I had life on my left side when I was running that way. When I was after turning, I had life on my right side and death on my left side. And this thought struck me hard because Friday of next week it will be 6 years that I had a really life-changing situation. On March 25th, 2010, at around 2:30, 3 p.m., I don't remember the exact timing, I was doing an electrocardiogram in the medical office of the company where I worked. And then as I was doing this electrocardiogram, the nurse started to be a bit nervous and asked me to repeat the exam after doing the first one. I said, okay. And she plugged the things on my chest again and repeated the exam. And as she was reading the sheets that were coming out of the electrocardiogram device, she started to be a bit more nervous and asked me some questions. Is everything okay with you, Mr. De Souza? I said, yes, everything's fine. And she said, well, it seems that the machine is not working properly. I will repeat the exam again. Do you mind? I said, no, go ahead. Okay. So she started the procedure for the exam for the third time. And as she was reading or looking at the pieces of paper that were coming out of the electrocardiogram, she started to be much more nervous uh, and shaking a bit. And she really asked me with a very nervous and concerned voice, Mr. De Souza, are you really feeling okay? Everything all right with you? I said, yes, everything's okay with me. But why are you asking? Well, the machine is probably not working properly. It's it's the report is saying that you are or you might be facing an heart attack. Wow. Are you really feeling okay? Yes. I was really not feeling anything special, but that when the nurse told me that, I was a little more concerned, but not that much, honestly. And she repeated the exam again for the first time. And for the first time, the result was the same: heart attack. Well, she was really, really concerned, much more than me. And she advised me to go to the hospital, which, of course, um, I accepted her suggestion. Even if I was not feeling anything special, the device might have had some reasons to deliver this result. I went upstairs to my working place and called my boss, telling him what's happened downstairs in the medical office, that I was doing a regular electrocardiogram for health medicine at work, and there was this diagnosis that I was having an heart attack, and even if I was not feeling anything special, I would be going to the hospital to be further examined. Let me tell you that it could have been that I was really having an heart attack. That was a huge stressful period in my career as a financial manager or a financial controller. I was the responsible for the financial responsible for a huge information technology outsourcing contract across EMEA, and it was the worst or the most disorganized situation, the most stressful one I had faced during my 14 years doing similar roles and jobs. It was really, really stressful. I was working alone. I had no backup. I had to report the numbers directly to the US. It caused me to extend my work hours until late at night. And honestly, I was in stress, but I didn't know how much, probably. And this moment, this event, was a wake up call to make me take a decision if I would be wanting to continue to work in finance related tasks or a finance related role, or if I should really quit it and do something else. Some 2 years before, I started to have coach training in the company I worked for, and it allowed me to understand that coaching was something that was aligned with the way I dealt with people at work. And I had a growing interest and did some more courses in along that period since September 2008 to March 2010. In February 2010, I have done another coaching course that was useful to me to understand the power and the capabilities that coaching has. And the immediate thought I had on March 25th was, I have to kill the numbers before the numbers kill me. That's probably where I decided that I have to move away from finance and start dedicating more to coaching, to help, support, and empower other people so that they would be having better lives, that their lives would be easier, that they would be able to deal with their professional and personal issues in a more healthier way. And this morning, while running in that oval parking lot side by side with death and with life, it all came back to me again, just 1 week before the 6th anniversary of this event. Every day we are running side by side with death and side by side with life. And it's up to us to decide what side do you want to be in, death or life. And I was running slowly and thinking about the time I was running today. I started at around 8 a.m. I heard the church bell sign 8 a.m. and I was running, and the previous days this week I ran for around 2 or 3 laps only and then came back home. And today it was raining, or it is raining, and I still wanted to go out and run a bit. Didn't have any goal to run any specific number of minutes. And as I was running, I said to myself, or at least I had this thought about, well, I'm running slowly, consistently, and probably I have done much more than 2 or 3 laps. I didn't count them, honestly. And I started thinking about peak performance, speed. And then I thought, well, if you do things too fast, or if you run too fast, your energy quickly fades away. If you run for 100 meters or 200 meters with all the speed you have, all your energy, you will exhaust your energy quickly. And then you need lots of time to recover so that you are able to run again. Or even just to go back to your normal life, you have to have a recovery period. And as I was running steadily, consistently, but at a regular pace and rhythm, these thoughts continued to come to my mind. I thought, well, if you do things consistently, if you run slowly and consistently, you can do more. You can run for a longer period of time, a longer distance. You don't run marathons at full speed. It's impossible. And that's I was continued to run. I noticed that I was not paying attention or feeling any effort or thinking that I was feeling tired. I was just running. I was feeling in the flow, in a steady pace and rhythm. And life was on one side and that was on the other side. And that made me continue to run. And in my mind, I decided I choose life. So I continued to run. And running is a way of living. Many people, especially here in Portugal, in the last few years, have started running, and there is a growing number of runners all across the country. And even in the worst weather conditions, they still go out and run. Heavy rain sometimes. And I've seen some people doing that. And I thought to myself, well, these people are probably crazy. It's running a lot. What are they doing running there, outside on the rain? Well, only today I understood why. Because it makes them feel alive. Because I felt alive running at the rain, in the rain. Feeling the raindrops on my body means that I'm alive. I'm there. I'm not in the cemetery. If you are in the cemetery, you don't feel the rain. And when you feel the rain, it means you are alive. And even if you are completely wet, you can feel it. So if you feel, whatever you feel, if it's good or bad, doesn't matter. Whatever you feel, it's a sign. It's a sign that you are alive. Even if you are feeling bad things, bad emotions and sensations, you are alive. And if you are alive, what are you going to do with those feelings and sensations? Even the bad ones are useful. If you are feeling down, probably it's a good time to start harvesting. Because you cannot harvest, you cannot put the seeds on the ground when you are up. You have to prepare the ground, the land, the soil, and put the seeds down there. Cover them with some sand, bury them, put some water, take proper care, and then the plant starts to grow and develop with care, water, energy from the sun, the proper conditions for development and flourishing. And this is where nature gives us a lesson. Because you have to harvest first, take proper care of the land, water the plant, give them the proper energy conditions so that the plant grows, develops, and flourishes later. And it's a cycle. There is no constant growth. It doesn't exist. There is spring, summer, autumn, and winter. In spring, plants are starting to open, to flourish. Then you can collect in the summer. And then in the autumn, the leaves start to fall from the trees to the ground. And what falls from the trees to the ground, those leaves, if they stay on a good soil, they are used to fertilize the soil. And then on the winter you have to start preparing the land again for the seeds to be deposited and start to grow and develop below the soil inside. So it's the same with our lives. We have moments that we feel we are in the spring, we are starting to flourish. There are other moments when we are completely energized and excited. We are in the summer. And there are other moments where we start to go down and feel down, and lots of bad things starts to happen to you, and things start even falling from you, like sometimes your hair might be falling, like the leaves. And that is important as well. Not that your hair falls, it's important, but it's important to have these 4 events or situations in your life, and you have to accept them. And especially when you are feeling down, you have to accept and realize that you cannot be always up. And being down, it's not permanent as well. And being down is also needed, useful, and when you are harvesting. It's when you are planting the seeds. It's when you have the opportunity to plant the seeds that you want in your life to grow and develop later, in the later seasons. What's challenging in your life is to understand in what season you are. Are you in the spring, summer, autumn, or winter? How are you feeling? Starting to flourish, fully energized, starting to fall down, or completely down? And when you are completely down, as I said, step back, stop all your thoughts about all the bad things that are happening to you, and understand it's time to plant the seeds. So, what's really important in your life when you are feeling down? What seeds do you want to continue planting in your soil to grow and develop in the spring and in the summer? It's all cyclical, up, down, up, down. Even the graphics in the electrocardiogram, your heartbeat is up and down. Everything in nature is up and down. Peak performance is up. After you reach the peak, you need to come down to recover and go up again. If you only want to be in a peak in the top, you will exhaust yourself quickly. You have to do something to help you be in a sustained, consistent, higher energy level, but you have to understand you cannot be in the peak all the time. You have to go down sometimes to regain energy, refresh, so that you are able to climb again. And that's natural. You cannot be excited and enthusiastic all the time. It's impossible. Even all the people that are living a good life, or that you interpret that are living a good life, they have nice cars, nice houses, great jobs, lots of money. They are apparently happy. They all have their downtime, their down periods as well. Even the most famous sports people, they have seasons where they play not so well, and there are others that they play exceptionally well. And even during the season, their performance goes up and down. But they keep training, because if they quit, they understand that their performance and their shape will go down. If they stop doing the training, they cannot go back up. So the lesson for me today was I am running side by side with death and running side by side with life. And to be running side by side with life, you have to choose it. You have to choose doing things consistently and slowly. Because if you do all the things quickly, with speed, you probably will move to the right side to the dead side. This is where you want to be continually living, or are you wanting to choose life? This was a great insight that I had this morning while running. I understand now why people go out and run in the rain. I understand that I was in the flow for some minutes, even if after I stopped running, I checked the time. I ran for 16 minutes. I don't know how many laps. However, I know that I've run much more than the previous days. And also, I went to the cemetery door and took a picture to what was there. Cemetery, schedule 9 to 5. And that struck me as well. Do I live my life from 9 to 5 in the cemetery? Or do I want to live from my 9 to 5 in the cemetery? Or do I want to live 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 in this beautiful countryside where nature grows and develops, where there are trees and green all over the place? It's my choice. It's your choice to decide if you want to be on the dead side or on the life side. And when you realize this, what are you going to do with this information? Where do you want to be living? On the life side or on the dead side? This is the final thought I leave you today, and hopefully I will be recording some more videos soon to share with you the insights that I have that are being helpful to me so that I improve and develop my life, and hopefully I can help, inspire, motivate and share with other people so that they realize that when you are feeling down, it's the best time to harvest. Plant the seeds that you want in your life, choose the goals you want to achieve. It's on the downside, probably. If you give proper care, water, energy, so dedication, attention, and consistency, you will be able to later collect what you have planted before. So, being up or being down, it's all part of who we are, it's all part of nature. We better accept it and keep living, because choosing life is probably the best option. Have a wonderful day and a great weekend, and stay tuned for more videos soon. Thank you for your attention.